Hello, I am Lucius Felimus, a guest artist from the Philippines, and I am a multidisciplinary digital artist from Manila, specializing in sci-fi and cyberpunk themes. And my goal is to world build a cyberpunk Manila through different mediums of art, mostly through photography, architecture, and 3D rendering. I want to establish this reputation as the cyberpunk guy in my local art scene. Some of my fondest memories growing up have been taking public transportation and observing the surrounding cityscape, as well as watching sci-fi movies and video games. And from everything I've seen, I've always wanted to live in those distant worlds, so I often daydreamed of high-tech futuristic cities whenever I went outside. This eventually led me into becoming an architect and world builder, so I can make sci-fi sceneries feel closer to home. I started my art journey in photography back in 2019 because I wanted to start this photography project built around the idea of cyberpunk Manila. My goal is to introduce the world to Manila as the forgotten Asian cyberpunk megalopolis because we don't really see Manila in cyberpunk culture despite it being a real world high tech and low life setting. I believe it deserves to have a place in cyberpunk along with the likes of Hong Kong and Tokyo, which is why I'm doing this. I'm trying to bring Manila into the limelight. And aside from being a photographer, I'm also an architect and 3D artist. I tried to learn Blender a few months ago so I can create more distant sci-fi worlds. I've seen a lot of futuristic cities on art websites, and while I admire those kinds of art, I still wanted to see sci-fi settings that are close to home. So this is where I come in. I try to include elements of Philippine culture in my cyberpunk cities in order to make them feel more like home. These are mostly inspired by stuff I see whenever I go out on the streets. And you can see that there are flying jeepneys, uh, neon signs of Philippine establishments, and architecture inspired by local buildings in Manila. I also different in other kinds of art, such as glitch art, and even designed my own cyberpunk themed fonts for Tagalog Baybayin script. And while these are smaller projects, they are all part of my grander vision to world build a cyberpunk Manila. Getting into NFTs and crypto art has been life changing for me, to say the least. This is the first time in my art career that I've ever felt supported in my work, not only with sales, but also with opportunities to be featured in articles and exhibits. And with that, I would like to thank Crypto Art Week Asia and MetaSeoul for another opportunity to share my art and my world building with a wider audience. Thank you so much.